Hi friends, it's Sarah from rufflesandrainboots.com. Today I'm going to be making this little guy in about 20 minutes. Boop, if you'd like to make him stick around. Please like this video so I know you're here crafting with me. Here's going to be the front, the back, the sides, everything. These are so fun to make. My daughter absolutely fell in love with him, and he's going to go on a tiered tray. You can make them bigger or smaller, in fact. And here's how we're going to do it. So as you can see, I've got all of this on my table and some random stuff because I'm using everything in my craft room, including I bought 2 sets of these pom-poms a couple years ago, so I'm working through this second set. This is a white pom-pom for hats, and I just pulled out some white Mongolian fur from my stash. You don't have to make a match if you don't have it. You need some kind of base to make it stable, so all we're going to be doing is just gluing this onto something. You could paint that like with cute little bunny feet, put some fabric feet under it, or do like I'm doing using a Dollar Tree wood sticker. I'm going to glue that to that. That's all I'm going to do. For the ears, I am actually going to use this floral wire because I have a million yards of it, and I'm going to use some fabric. This is just cast offs. I use this to stuff some gnomes. These are just cuttings off of patterns. This is all we're going to need from here. Just one piece. That's pretty much not damaged. All right. Next up, you are going to need some scissors, an X-Acto knife, and a hot glue gun. Okay, so I am going to first start out and let you know this is very, very pliable wire. Get this at the craft store. Also, you can use pipe cleaners. You may want to double them up. Fur is a little bit heavy, especially when you have the longer pile of fur. So I don't want this showing, so I'm just going to add an obscene amount of hot glue right here to the center. And then I'm going to try and find the little connector part that you are supposed to put this on a hat with. And I'm just going to cut that off because we don't need it. And I'm feeling destructive. If you can't tell, I am sick. My husband got me sick, y'all. And so our whole house is sick. So it's pretty easy going around here lately. All right, now I'm going to, this is how I'm measuring. I'm holding it up to my pom-pom. All you need to do to cut the faux fur without any shredding of the actual fur is just take an X-Acto knife or a razor and score the back. We are going to use about 1 inch square of that piece in a minute. All right, so we're just going to, look, they're not even. And it's okay, Stephen. I will try and refrain from rhyming. But all we're going to do is make 2 of these, and this is a real technical way to do this. We're just going to fold this in half, and then we're going to eyeball it because why not? You know, when I'm sick, I don't want anything that has to be exact, and lately I have been crafting with what I have in my stash, and it's so freeing to watch that stuff go down. I don't know if it's you're like me. I just have a lot of stuff. All right, so here you can see I just put them together. I'm holding them in my hand, and I'm just round it off a little bit to the top. It actually doesn't matter on the height because you can cut it off in a second or use it for extra stability to glue it down. Now, speaking of glue, you may want to do this in a little bit different order, but I added hot glue to this, and then I realized, well, I forgot to cut my wire, so I'm going to cut a few inches of wire. We want at least 1 inch of wire sticking down into the pom-pom. I'm going to bend over this top bit of wire like I do with all of my gnomes and dolls because we don't want anybody poking themselves. Now I'm going to glue this down in here. It's basically going to get sandwiched, so you don't need to tack it down with stitches. However, if you're selling, you may want to add a couple of stitches to keep that in place. All right, once you have that, it's pretty easy because now we're going to do it for the second time. And the reason I'm saying that is because when I just held the other one in my hand, I could move that fleece on that fabric backing for the faux fur. We want that solid because we're about to tug on it. All right, so same thing here, cut a piece of wire, folded down the end, glued it on, and then sandwich the wire between. I forgot which way was facing up on the pretty side. We're just going to sandwich that between fleece. You don't have to use fleece. You can use cotton. If you use cotton, just know that you actually are probably going to be able to see the wire, so you may need to add a little polyfill stuffing or pillow stuffing to cover that up. All right. This is the most technical part of this. You're going to turn this down in towards the center That's it. That's the technical part of it. I try and hide the edges here. You can see me. I'm going to push this part down, a little bit more glue on the other side, and then I'm going to push it inward and then together. There's enough glue there. You don't need to add any more. So I'm just going to press it and hold it while I do the sides. And again, no one is going to see the cut edges on these sides because the fur will be over it. But you want to make sure you get the top kind of folded down and in. Excuse me. I hate clearing my throat during these things, but I do need to do the voiceovers. I think it'd be funny if I asked my daughter to voice over my videos. A 12-year-old doing that would probably really funny. All right, so you can see here, I'm going to set that aside and we're just going to repeat this with the other one. By the way, this is all real time. If I ever speed anything up, I will tell you. As I mentioned, this took me 22 minutes from start to finish to make this entire craft. I have edited out waiting on the glue, and I also got an Amazon package at this time, so I edited that part out as well. So actual craft time's 22 minutes. All right, so now that, I mean, these actually surprisingly look so good for being so quick. Here's another thing I want to know. If you use, I think cotton would be so cute because number one, I have 952 fat quarters that I am not using. But I wonder if you can use just a couple layers of cotton and not have to worry about any fill. If you've done that, let me know down below because I would really like to know. I love crafting for Easter. Now it looks like I'm playing here, but I'm not. I'm actually splitting the faux fur until I can see that fabric backing along the pom-pom. All I'm going to do is I'm going to poke it with a stick. And the reason I'm going to poke it with a stick is because I need to make a little hole in that fabric backing. It doesn't have to be fancy and it doesn't have to be big because our wire isn't that big. But you can see I'm trying to show you. It's I don't want to cut myself, but you can see I'm just going to roll it around a little bit just to move everything out of the way. And you can see it there. I'm just going to pop the wire in. Now you're going to hit that dense center. And when you do, just know, boop, there it goes. It'll go right through it. You just have to wiggle it a little bit. All right, so now I'm going to do the other side. You can see I'm just using that same part that I had, cleaning it up a bit, and we're going to do the same process. Now, I will tell you, I have shared pom pom pets, and I know they went crazy and they've been duplicated by many a creator. If you want to, you can make these any size. You do not have to make a pre-made pom pom as the base. You cut a square of faux fabric or faux fur fabric, however, what size you want. I've done up to 7, 8 inches, and then you're going to stuff it, and you're going to stuff it very well. And then you just repeat. So I am going to make whiskers using Mod Podge. I got asked this on my bunny video that I created this year. Um, what was the method that I had used and shared before? It's just embroidery thread plus Mod Podge. That's it. You can add glitter if you want. You could add little charms if you want. They will stick if they're the really thin kind. You could add like kid stickers on either side if you want to do that as well. But you just coat the pieces of embroidery thread in Mod Podge and set them aside to dry. Or if you're like me, you're going to become really impatient and hit them with the heat gun later. So while those are drying, I thought, oh, I should glue these down. So I'm just going to pull as much faux fur out of the way as possible and add a generous amount of hot glue, none of which you can see. I'll show you on the next year. Sorry, I was really focusing on this, trying to make sure I didn't get any hot glue. But you can see I pull it up probably 1/4 to 1/2 inch and then put an obscene amount of hot glue so that when the fabric falls down, it's all covered. See? Okay, I hope that helped. Now, I had so many people share with me on my last bunny video that they put flowers in between the ears. Absolutely do that. It's so cute. I've shared that before as well. All right, 1 inch, that's all you need. This is my fancy measuring technique. It looks about like between your two knuckles. That's it. I'm just going to cut a square off, and you don't need to do anything. Certainly don't give it a brushing because we're just going to take each of these fabric edges and we're going to point them in towards the center. That's it. Love making little pom-poms like this. It's so simple. If you do make your large pom-pom, just know you can't do this with glue. You're going to have to sew it. Okay, sorry, I just had to pause the video for a coughing fit, but now you can see I'm just holding it all in place, and then once we have held it for a little bit, 30 seconds or so, roll it in between your hands, bang it on the table, and now you're just going to be, oops, now you're just going to be gluing it. So we are going to, again, split the fur to the fabric backing so we get a nice solid join. It's hard for you to see on white, but I promise you there's fabric there. So I'm looking for that part where all the pieces came together, and I'm putting, again, an obscene amount of hot glue right there. And then I'm going to hold this here, which I edit out because no one wants to watch hot glue dry. Now look at him. He's super cute, but now we're back to the whiskers and they're not dry yet. So heat gun. If you don't have a heat gun in your craft room, I really like this one. It's obviously been used a lot. You can get it on Amazon. You don't have to get pink. But you could also use a blow dryer, a hair blow dryer. No, a blow dryer? A hair dryer. A hair dryer. So I am using an egg. I am. It is a half split egg. And I got it on Amazon and they're super cute. You can use these as feet for mini gnomes. I probably haven't shared those yet, but use these as feet for mini gnomes. I'll try and find the link, the ones I purchased. All I did is put a little bit of hot glue, obviously, on my finger. It's sticking to my finger as well. And they weren't even, so I just snipped off some on one side over here. And like independently, it kind of looks like a spider who's missing two legs. But when you actually glue it on, it looks cute. I promise. Just give me a minute. All right, so now again, splitting the fur to the fabric backing so we can get a secure join. Oodles of hot gloodles. I didn't mean to say that, but I'm leaving it in. And now we're just going to press this in, hopefully make it a little even, and this guy is done. Again, you can add whatever accoutrement decorations that you want. I just love it. Like I said, my daughter fell in love with it, and I'm hoping to keep it out on the tiered tray before she absconds with it to her office. And that is it for me today. I sincerely appreciate you being here. Please like, share, and subscribe for more crafty fun.